All right, Bears fans, welcome back, Bear Down. And today it's going to be a little less controversial video because we're not even going to mention he who shall not be named, who will never take a snap in Chicago as a Bears quarterback. This isn't about Caleb Williams. This is about Justin Fields. So the focus of this one is going to be analyzing what everyone's talked about is, has Justin Fields improved? All throughout the end of last year, you constantly heard Courtney Cronin in press conferences asking Matt Eberflus, what does Justin Fields need to do? It was actually annoying, and I don't have a problem with Courtney Cronin. That's not the point of this. But constantly asking him, what does he need to do? What does he need to do? Can Justin Fields, is there security? Is he going to be the quarterback in 2024? We weren't even done with our season yet. And they were asking over and over again, what does he need to do? And repeatedly, he kept giving the same answers. Improvement. I mean, the shortest one. I took the shortest one and he said improvement. That's all. We just need to see improvement. But he expounded several times on that they need to see progress. And so one of the longer quotes that I liked that I pulled out was Matt Eberflus said, and this was right around the Cleveland game. He said he's done a really good job of late of looking down the field to be able to deliver some passes down the field, which is cool. He's so strong, and he's got strong lowers, and he's got great balance. As I say, a lot of time with DJ Moore, he has that as well. He has the ability to put it on guys for 19 yards, or as you saw last year, even more than that. We're excited about where he is with that in terms of the first phase of that, looking downfield to complete the passes, and the second phase, when it's not there, in situational ball to make it happen. All right, so I'm jumping ahead a little bit here. You'll see I'll go back a little bit because I'm going to take all the different areas of Justin Fields' game, every area, and I'm going to break them down. Has he progressed year by year? But I wanted to point this out. The second half of the year, this is after he returned from his injury. So at the bottom, there's the last two games before he got hurt against Minnesota. And I didn't include the Minnesota game because he played half a game there and he got injured. And that one, I'm just not going to count it because I don't think the Bears are counting it either. But the bottom two there, on October 1st and October 5th, those are the two big games that he was coming into his own. We felt it. We felt Justin Fields playing differently. And it felt good. We were all excited. Then he got injured. Came back from the injury, and he wasn't quite the same. The team wasn't quite the same, but Montez Sweat brought a swagger on defense that helped elevate the team. There still needs to be progress made forward, but it exposed a lot of our weaknesses that second half of the year. You saw a lot of the weaknesses exposed with the line and with the wide receivers especially. I highlighted those two interceptions because those are the two that don't count. Matt Eberflus literally said he doesn't count those against Justin Fields. Hail Mary at the end of the first half. That was not an interception. It was dropped. I don't know why the league never changed it. I don't know why the Bears didn't appeal it. It doesn't matter to them. It doesn't matter at all. And then the end of the game where there was the Hail Mary where it was intercepted right off of Mooney. Shouldn't have been an interception. Should have been a touchdown. Should have won the game. But Mooney couldn't hold on to it. They intercepted it off his chest. It is what it is. But if you take that away, yeah, you look at the left, the touchdowns, it's so hard to understand why Luke Getsy couldn't call plays the same as weeks, 5 and 6 or 4 and 5 against Denver and Washington, get those 4 touchdown games. He never got more than 1 touchdown the rest of the year. Now, everyone's going to knock that. I'm going to be very open on this video. This is going to be a very open discussion. We're not going to excuse Justin Fields, but we're also not going to criticize and condone him. We're going to be open and honest about where he is with different things. There needs to be some progress in his passing. That's exactly why they brought in Shane Waldron. That's why he's coming in. But if you look at this, there's a lot to work with here. His completion percent was completely up. His touchdowns to interception ratio, if you take those two out, is still very solid, 5-1. That's a very solid touchdown to interception ratio. And there's a lot of things in there, guys, where we can point out. Velus Jones dropped touchdown. Darnell Mooney's dropped touchdown. Cole Kmet's touchdown that was called back because of a penalty that was a phantom penalty. I mean, there's a lot of things here. We can make excuses, but they're real. Those things happen. That was part of this season. That was part of the reality of the picture that the Bears actually see those things. They're breaking down film a lot more than we're even looking at these things. And they're seeing all those things, and that's real to them. And that's a lot of things that the Fields haters are bypassing or not looking at this thing with reality. You have to look at it with reality. Okay, so let's go back and look at all the different aspects of Justin Fields. In fact, we'll just start right here with his normal box stats because that's what a lot of people want to focus on. It's just the box stats. All right, from 2021 to 22 to 23, 12 games, 15 games, 12.5 games. Completion percentage up every single year, 58.9, 60.4, 61.4. His yards up every single year. Even though he played 2.5 less games this year, he had 300 plus more yards this year. Touchdown to interception, especially if you take those 2 touchdowns away, and especially if you take what Matt Eberflus was talking about how the second half of the year he really came into his own. He had 5 touchdowns in the first 4 weeks. After that, he only had 4 the rest of the year, and really 2 of those were against Cleveland that shouldn't count, and so really 2 the entire rest of the year after week 4. That's really good progress. That is improvement. If we're going to be real and honest about this, he improved significantly. He was not turning the ball over nearly as much. All right, we're going to look at the rushing, but this isn't what we're gauging the quarterback off of. This is just an intangible that Justin Fields has that other quarterbacks don't have. So his rushing, you saw him dial it back this year. You saw him stopping and sliding a lot more. Even though he wasn't getting all the calls, he was still sliding and stopping and going out of bounds and taking net negative sacks. He was doing those things to prevent injury and to be more sustainable, to have longevity in his career. Clearly something the Bears were focused on and asking him to do. So while last year he nearly broke the all-time season record for a quarterback and could have, blah, 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 if he played week 17, blah, blah, blah. This year was more disciplined, and you saw him throw the ball away a lot more, and his pressures that turned into sacks came way down as well. That's progress. Everything he's doing is progress, and this is still a scary threat. Anybody who says Justin Fields isn't a scary threat needs to go watch the Atlanta game where he was freaking Houdini, and that's what DJ Moore was calling him in the locker room, was Houdini. That he was escaping those, 2 or 3 plays right in a row where it was just crazy. I was watching, just like you guys were, my jaw was on the ground. So anybody who's talking about Justin Fields and not saying he's not dynamic and not saying he's special, I don't understand what they're saying. But I understand where you want to see more. You want to see more yards. You want to see more touchdowns, less interceptions. I get that stuff. But you do have to take into context what's been going on for that to happen. What's been going on with Justin Fields, with the team, with the wide receiver room, with the line. It's not narratives if it's real. If you can truly break it down and show that, it's real. All right, so let's move on to his advanced passing. Because this is what we're looking at. Has he improved in every area? Is he improving or is he regressing? And so 2021, 2022, 2023, his poor passer rating, 2023 is lower than it's ever been before. His adjusted completion percentage, higher than it's ever been before, significantly. His NFL passer rating didn't change much from this year to last year, but it is up. And his PFF grade is up significantly from last year. Improvement. All right, so here's the big one that a lot of the Fields haters are talking about. Let's get into the advanced metrics of how he's throwing across the field. I only did the changes from 22 to 23, but you can look and deduce that yourself from 2021 to 2022. There was significant improvement from 2021 to 2022. But 2022 to 2023 is very similar in NFL passer rating, 85.2 to 86.3. And that's what this graph shows. This is the field and how Justin Fields does in the field. And he's one of the most elite in the entire NFL of deep ball passing. Okay? And that's what some of those stats I showed the other day show. What you want in your quarterback is his ability to be accurate and downfield. Well, why is the middle of the field there between 10 and 19 yards? Why was that regression this year? And it's plain and simple. That's where the slot receiver gets most of their yards. Luke Getsy called horrible plays, and Darnell Mooney had a worse year than he's ever had before. He and Justin Fields were off, completely off. They were not in sync at all. Darnell Mooney was often caught. It was broken down on tape, running wrong routes, running into other receivers, and he had a 13.88% drop ball rate. It was rough. So the middle of the field, that's where the linebackers are most of the time too. This is where all quarterbacks struggle the most. But when you go to 2022, Justin Fields did extremely well in that yardage. He's one of the best in the NFL. Between 10 and 19 yards, one of the best in all of the NFL. So where was the regression, and why did he do so much better from 0 to 9 yards and deep balls, those aren't things I have answer for. So to be able to sit here on the channel and give you all the answers, I don't have that. All I know is you can see the deficiency in the wide receiver room. You can see that all he had was DJ Moore and Cole Kmet. And on the left side of the field, that's where you saw a ton of that big stuff happening with DJ Moore, was that 0 to 9 and the deep ball. Those things were significant impacts by having DJ Moore on the team. Now, I don't have the answer to that middle yards. That's what Shane Waldron's for. That's what he was brought in for instead of Cliff Kingsbury. He worked with Geno Smith and improved this significantly. But these are things they did improve from 2022 to 2023. So how can we take this and break it down farther and see if he really did improve on his passing then? Well, we can go to accuracy of the passing. Right? So here's from year to year. Here's the different areas of the field. Behind the line of scrimmage, short, 0 to 9 yards, medium, 10 to 19 yards, and long, 20 plus. And throughout all of this, you see progress in all of it. Behind the line of scrimmage from last year, really, really solid, 92.1% accuracy. Short, accuracy, 82.2%, actually one of the higher in the NFL. Medium, this is where you have to question what happened. This is where the Fields haters jump on board. And I'm not going to defend it because there's clearly a problem there between 10 and 19 yards. But what we can point out is the passer rating of wide receivers was lowest in the NFL compared to other teams having the number of receivers. So we only had 2 targets that were really quality this year, above average receivers. He only had 1 receiver and 1 tight end. And when you don't have options to spread the field out, it makes it so defenses can key on those players and make it easier to defend the field. So there's something there that clearly double down on wide receivers in this draft will help to spread the field out, get Waldron his offense in there, get a 2 tight end set, get 12 personnel, be able to spread things out, and I think that issue will be resolved. But that's for them to answer. And long ball, that's significant improvement. 53.8 is in the top of the entire NFL. That's what you want, is an accurate deep ball thrower. You want accurate everything, but why was there the issue in the middle? I don't have the answer, and I'm not going to sit here and act like we can defend everything because there's something there, but I don't think that's all on Justin Fields. All right, so let's look at the other issues here. Different pressure. Has he improved with different pressures? Well, let's look. First, clean accuracy. How has he been accurate in a clean pocket? From 2021, 70.9%, 2022, 76.6%, 2023, 77.8%. His dirty accuracy is where he's most taken off this year. He's really improved on being calm and collected in the pocket and being able to find someone. Well, what's the big difference this year? What changed? Let's not act like having an elite receiver doesn't help a quarterback. We've seen it in so many examples with Josh Allen, with Joe Burrow, with Jalen Hurts. I mean, you see all these comparisons, but it's real. When you get true wide receiver elite talent in there, or at least average or better with multiple options like C.J. Stroud had, he had 8 above average options. Justin Fields had 2. When you have that, it makes it so you have options and the field is spread out more. So dirty accuracy, 57.7, 58.4, 67.9. Can you imagine what would happen if we got Marvin Harrison Jr. or Rome Odunze or Xavier Legette in the slot? What would happen to these numbers? All right, his clean NFL passer rating, 86.1, 96.2, 95.5. With NFL passer rating, those are that's apples and apples right there. Those are the same. But his dirty NFL passer rating, his overall NFL passer rating improved. We already showed that on the other page of this. But his dirty NFL is the biggest reason for that. 46.2, 61.2. He really is coming. It's that learning curve. And that's something Caleb Williams, he who shall not be named, that's something he has not learned yet in the NFL. He hasn't even played a snap in the NFL. He's going to go through a learning curve. Justin Fields is coming around that learning curve. He's seeing how defenses are, and he's able to handle the pressure. And his NFL pass rating in a dirty pocket is one of the best, 72.8 this year. That's extreme improvement. Well, here's my little side note at the bottom. This is important to take into context, guys. In 2021, the Bears O-line pass blocking efficiency grade ranked 25th. Justin Fields was under pressure on 42.8% of plays. The NFL average this year, this is average, and the best was around 17%, but the average this year was 35% of plays. Okay, so Justin Fields, the Bears were the absolute worst. So in 2022, that was 45.7%, and the line ranked 29th on pass blocking efficiency. In 2023, and I already showed this on another video, if it wasn't for Justin Fields and his elite play, our line would have been between 30th and 32nd. But because of Justin Fields, they ranked 26th. He made them better by his escapability. So in 2023, the Bears O-line pass blocking efficiency ranked 26th. Justin Fields was under pressure on 48.8% of plays. So while the line has got less and less efficient and blocked less for him, he's still gotten better. That's really important to take into context. So through all of these, he is improving. We're showing that. He's improving every year like they've asked him to in every aspect. In different pressure situations, his accuracy of his passing in different aspects of the field, his advanced passing, and his general box stats. In every area, he's improving. Can you imagine if this happened? This is only possible if we trade down the number 1 overall pick, and it's helped if we trade down from like 9 to 12 to 13 and get Jackson Powers Johnson. This is only possible focusing on the offense this year if we trade down from number 1 to say number 5, number 6, and get Rome Odunze. Then the draft capital that we've built up, we can get the rest of these pieces. And no, I'm not stuck on Saquon Barkley, but I do think it's a neat option with his pass blocking efficiency, how good of a passer he is, how good he is on opening up the flats, on receiving the ball, and a downhill runner. Like, I think he's a great package. And yeah, he's got some injury history and he's getting older, but I wouldn't mind seeing it. Josh Jacobs, not nearly the same, but I'm just giving an example here, okay? So changing 6 of the 11 starters on this offensive front, getting Xavier Legette in the slot there, Cade Stover at tight end 2 on the 12 personnel sets, Patrick Paul in there to compete with Braxton Jones. Maybe Braxton Jones keeps his job, but then Jackson Powers Johnson at center, Rome Odunze out on the wide on the X, and Saquon Barkley. Dude, guys, there's nothing that could stop this offense. This is real. This could really happen. This really is a possibility if we trade down. And Ryan Poles knows this. He knows. This is a real possibility in his head, and he's trying to maneuver and figure out the artistic way to do this, trying to milk Washington right now for their second-round pick and possibly their other second-round pick and a future second or a future first. This is what he's working on right now. But this is possible because this guy's improving every single year in every aspect of his game. He's improving, and that's what I've wanted to see out of him, and that's what Matt Eberflus has asked of him. Ryan Poles sees it. Kevin Warren sees it. I really am firm in this belief that he has improved and that he is a varsity version of the JV Caleb Williams. I really believe that. I'm not just saying that for this channel, guys. This is real. He's really a progressing superstar. He's on his way up, and all we need to do is support him this year. We haven't done the full offensive draft. We've really focused on the linebackers, the defensive backs, getting Montez Sweat for the line. We've focused on that side of the ball a lot more. We haven't focused on the offensive side of the ball at all in these drafts. This is the year we do that, and that's why it makes sense to stick with Justin Fields. Has he improved? The answer, yes. In every aspect of his game, he's improved. Is it to where he's a top 10 quarterback yet? I even understand he's not a top 10 quarterback yet. He has the ability and the potential to be a top 10 quarterback, top 5 quarterback. He has everything in him to do that. If that's what you're looking at as potential, if that's how you're gauging this draft, the number 1 overall pick is based off of potential, well, look at the quarterback we have right now. The potential in him is already elite. He has the potential. His ceiling, no matter what you hear from all these talking heads, he hasn't even come close to his ceiling yet. You can't say he's even touched his ceiling when he hasn't had any of the offense that other teams in the league have had. When you have pass blocking efficiency of 26, 29, 28, 27th. That's not even close to accurate. You can't even compare apples and oranges that way. And then when we only had 2 offensive weapons that were above even average, and yeah, we had an elite one. DJ Moore is elite. Cole Kmet's on the verge of elite too. So, yeah, we had 2 great ones, but that was it. Other teams had 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 above average weapons for their quarterbacks to spread the ball around, to have options. He hasn't had that. This is the year for that. I'm super excited to see what can happen if Ryan Poles will do this and if he sticks to the game plan, which I'm fully and firmly bearing down and believing that's what he's doing. He's moving forward with that purposeful direction. So with that, hope you guys have a great day and bear down.